Good evening, my night owls and shadow chasers. You've stepped into a world where truth wears a crooked smile and fiction ain't always just make-believe. I'm your host for the hour, and tonight we tiptoe through tales that'll tickle your spine and keep your thoughts twisted. So sit tight, bite low, and let's see where secret airwaves hold. Now, we are going to do some more SCP tonight. That is today's agenda. And we are going to continue off with, what was it? 6, 7, 8, and 9. If I recall, yes. 6, 7, 8, and 9. I have not heard anything about these before, so these are actually pretty new to me. And let's see, number 6 we are going to start. And from what I can see of the name of this SCP is the Fountain of Youth. Again, never heard of this SCP and know very little about. But anyways, let's jump right into it. My name is Dr. Edwin Harrow, Level 4 Researcher, Site 10. I was hand-selected for the SCP-006 reassessment operation, codenamed Project Everwell. The SCP Foundation has known about SCP-006 for over 100 years, a small natural spring located in the remote valley in the Redacted Mountains. The water has regenerative properties, age reversal, healing, you name it. The official reports are brief and sanitized, but 05 wanted to expand its applications, test its limits. So we built Everwell Station, 0.2 kilometers from the spring. I was brought in to oversee long-term observation. Our team consisted of 5. Me, as lead researcher, Dr. Ingrid Wells, geneticist, Dr. Millen Rowe, oncologist. I probably completely butchered pronouncing that. Corporal Stevens, security, and Subject 03-A, a terminal patient brought under heavy sedation. The way they actually had this paper done is weird. So, Subject 03-A was administered 100 milliliters. What? 100? Is that even good for you? Of SCP-006 water. His tumors began shrinking within hours. Within 2 days, he was walking, eating, and speaking. No trace of cancer left. Man, I wish we had something like that. Subject 03-A's hair grew back. Wrinkles faded. DNA tests showed markers consistent with someone in their early 20s. Mind you, he was 68. Yeah, I wish something like this existed. I would love to be able to turn back my age. 03-A started having hallucinations. Said he could hear voices in the spring at first. We assumed neurological side effects, but he wasn't the only one. Dr. Wells began waking up in the night, claiming she'd seen herself standing at the edge of the spring. Dr. Rose started sleepwalking, always in the same direction, toward the water. I review old logs. Over 30 researchers have been rotated out of the original SCP-006 observation detail in the past 5 decades. None stayed longer than 6 months. Their files were marked transferred or deceased. But I found no death certificates, no forwarding locations, just blanks. But then, on the 4th week, 03-A began to rot. Not visibly, not on the outside. His organs were pristine, but he claimed he could feel himself dying from the inside out, and he wouldn't stop smiling. His final words, before we sedated him again, were, "It doesn't let you die. That's the trick." Later that night, Corporal Stevens walked into the springs and didn't come back up. The water never rippled. Dr. Rowe followed 2 days later. By then, Wells and I had stopped drinking from the filtration system. We were collecting rainwater, boiling it. We knew we had to let something in. The water was always too still, even in wind. I noticed my fingernails weren't growing anymore, not breaking, not changing. My heartbeat slowed to 45 beats per minute. My dreams were filled with white shapes moving beneath the surface. Wells stopped sleeping entirely, said if she closed her eyes, it would get closer. One morning, she was gone. I found her shoes at the spring. Beside them, in the mud, was a second pair. much larger. They weren't Stevens. I tried to leave that night, packed everything. The path out of the valley wasn't there anymore. Only trees. I walked for 8 hours in one direction and ended up back at the station. Okay. That's strange. It sounds almost like you just got lost, which is possible for, I guess, most people that don't really have very good directional senses, but okay. I'm marking this last report because someone needs to know. The spring doesn't grant internal youth. It preserves you. It keeps you fresh. In transcript. That is one of those kind of situations of if there was such a thing like Fountain of Youth, which nobody knows if it ever existed, which if ever did. I don't think a lot of people would let it, survive or stay around due to the fact of, who knows, religious reasons, people fear it, etc., etc., etc. There's a lot of reasons why something like that probably doesn't exist or never existed. But why it kind of doesn't, because even though I know probably a bunch of you out there, even I would, and I'm guilty of, we'd probably jump in there ourselves and try to live forever, but long-lasting life is not always a good thing. Now, next SCP on our list, 007. Now, again, another one of these SCPs I've never heard about, and actually, no. From what the description of what SCP-007 is a man with a miniature planet embedded in his abdomen. Okay, I think I have heard of this. I think I've heard some stories about said person, but it sounds a little far-fetched even to me. But let's see where it takes us. My name is Dr. Adam Krill, Level 3 Researchers, Human Anomaly Department. My clearance wasn't supposed to include SCP-007. In fact, until the incident at Site 17A, I'd never heard of it, officially. I think that's a lot of people, because that is one of those weird SCPs that just kind of slips under the radar. 007 was kept deep underground in a reinforced chamber beneath the lowest access level of the site. No camera feeds, no observation logs, only brief daily check-ins from a rotating list of D-class. The official documentation was sparse. A human male with a miniature planet occupying his abdominal. Good lord, English. English, even though my main language, I still cannot pronounce it. The abdomen cavity. Whatever that word is. Whatever anybody wants to call it. Everybody knows the word. No medical explanation, no hostile behavior, just containment. The name of the subject is Joseph Thorne. Now that's a name. That's what I found when I accessed. There we go. Assessed a corrupted folder that accidentally unlocked it during a system update. The file shouldn't have been there, but curiosity got the better of me. There was a photograph taken in 1983. A man, maybe in his early 40s, shirtless, sitting in a sterile cell. His torso was split open, not by injury, but as if his skin had grown around a perfectly round portal. Inside was darkness, then stars, then clouds, then a planet. A live storm swirled, oceans moved. His eyes were open and he was smiling. I brought it up to my supervisor. She told me to never mention it again. That it was an O5 level anomaly with theological implications. I used my clearance to piggyback on the medical escort detail. The guards that asked questions, the D-class, the young woman shaking her shoes. Wait, what? Why was that needed to be in there? I'll have to talk to the studio about the people in the studio and kind of make sure they go over this, because that did not need to be in there. Wheeled in a tray with water, vitamins, and gauze. Standard check-in. The hallway to SCP-007's chamber felt off. I remember the temperature drop in the moment we passed through the last set of doors. Now remember the smell, not chemicals. It smelled like rain on dust. Like ozone. Like a storm that hadn't come yet. He was standing when I entered, not lying in bed, not restrained, just standing calm like he'd been waiting. The planet in his abdomen was rotating, slowly. It had clouds, weather systems, tiny flashes of lightning inside its atmosphere. I swore I saw land masses shifted while I stared. Oh, hold on. My little gremlin is doing something a little weird. I don't know what she's doing, but she's not supposed to be doing over there. Sorry about that, everybody. Hello, he said. I nearly dropped the tray. His voice wasn't human, not quite. It was layered, like hearing multiple versions of himself speaking at once. Some young, some old, some in languages I didn't know. How long have you known? He asked. I was too stunned to answer. You think you're here to study me? You think this is new? But you all been here before. 1,000 times, 1,000 lives. I tried to press the panic button on my tablet, but the device was frozen. The lights flickered, the stars in his abdomen twinkled in sync with the hum of the walls. Oh, what's my little gremlin doing over there? I don't know what she's doing. Every world grows a seed, and when it's ready, it flowers. I swear to God, the planet moved. It tilted, a moon appeared that hadn't been there before, a comet passed through. That's weird. I don't know how I'd feel about having a small solar system in my abdomen like that. I think that'd throw me off quite a bit. But that's just way too weird. I don't really have much to say on it besides that bit. Like, we're not even done with this the story yet. It's just weird. Does he feel the moon as it? Does he feel the moon as it formed in him, or what? Like, that's a little off. Does that not feel weird? All right, whatever. I stumbled out of the room. Security was gone. No one in halls. The D class was missing. The elevator just kept taking me deeper into the levels that didn't exist on blueprints. Room after room, each one filled with the exact copies of SCP-007, each at a different stage of planetary development. Some had deserts, others had forests. One looked like it had cities, tiny blinking lights that glimmered in the dark. Okay, now that's kind of weird, because wouldn't you be able to feel like, maybe the, I guess, pollution from the planets or something? No, wait. I guess it's just the ones that actually have the, settlements, cities, life, I guess. Okay. I don't know how long I was down there, days, hours. Time didn't feel right. Eventually I woke up in my car, parked outside Site 17A. My badge was gone, my lab coat was stained with something that looked like silt or volcanic ash. I tried to report what I saw, but the site was gone, completely sealed. No guards, no contact. All files on SCP were wiped from Foundation servers. Now I'm on the run. I don't think I ever left the lower levels. Not really. I see stars when I close my eyes and worse. Okay. That... Again, it sounds like a fever dream, but a lot of SCPs sound more like fever dreams to me than anything. I do enjoy them. I like the concept of them, but they just sound very feverish to me. I don't know how anybody can actually, come up with these things. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of these pretty much all the SCPs are just, fictional. Not real. So, they're still all entertaining, just a little weird. Anyways, on to SCP-008. Yes, there we go. Now, from the name I am seeing on here, it is called the Zombie Plague. As I can already tell by the name of that, it is going to be an interesting one. Now, the file log is from Agent Mara Lorne. They don't tell me what they are. It seems like security almost from what I'm looking at on the paper here, but oh well. We arrived at Outpost Beta 9 in West Virginia at 2:37 a.m. on April 3rd. I was leading a 3-person containment team responding to a Level 2 biohazard breach. The call came through garbled emergency codes only. No names, no faces, just SCP-008 may be active. Immediate lockdown. Send backup. SCP-008, a pathogen, a virus. The kind Foundation doesn't talk about. Theta 9 was buried inside a mountain, accessible only through a single tunnel carved into rock. We had the key and 3 separate clearance codes just to enter the first door. Oh god, that is some tight security. No, okay, yep. Inside it was silent, too silent, no security detail, no technicians, no lights except emergency backups, dim and flickering like dying embers. Our boots echoed even up. Okay, some of these details are kind of unnecessary. Don't get me wrong, I like the details, but it just seems a little unnecessary sometimes. We passed medical bays with doors cracked open, beds overturned, instruments scattered like someone had been dragged or crawled. And we found the first one, a body wearing a torn hazmat suit slumped against the wall. The helmet was broken open, and her face, her eyes were still wet, wide, frozen in terror. She looked mummified, her skin tight, gray, teeth exposed as she screamed for hours before she died. My medic, I do apologize for pronouncing his name wrong, Halverson, said there was no signs of decomp. No smell, the body was fresh, but the time code on the security camera next to her says she died 10 hours ago. 10 hours. 10 hours being dead and still no decomposition. That's wild. We moved deeper toward the cryo-containment wing, where SCP-008 was kept, stored at sub-zero temps to prevent this word I will never pronounce. But I'm assuming it's something to do with what was that word? When it gets out in the air, I guess. But when we reached it, the door was open. Inside the chamber was empty. Aside from one cryo unit with the glass lid shattered, frost still clung to the walls like vines out of ice. SCP-008 was gone. That's when we heard the scream. From behind us down the hallway we just cleared, we turned and saw Halverson drop his gear. Something was crawling towards us. It had no suit, no shoes, no recognition to its face. Its mouth opened wide, too wide, and it let out this wet, gurgling sound like it was choking on its own lungs. It charged. We fired. 4 rounds to the chest, 1 to the leg. It didn't flinch. Only when Rios put a bullet through its head did it collapse, twitching like a puppet with its strings cut. We ran. We made it to the control room, locked the doors, checked the feed. There were dozens of them, not just security personnel, scientists too. Some in suits, others in scrubs, all wandering down the halls like rats in a maze. Twitching, moving unnaturally. One of them was dragging a crowbar, scratching it along the walls, pausing only to tilt its head, like he heard something we didn't. Rios was gone. Okay, it looks like they have missed something here. Took a shot through the air vent and never came back. Halverson infected. He got bitten during the fight and didn't tell me. I walked in the medical bay. Okay, yeah, it looks like there was a time skip of some sort from what I'm seeing. He begged me to end it. The virus doesn't just destroy the body. It takes the mind piece by piece, like stripping wires until only the animals left. And worst of all, Halverson said something before I shut the door. He whispered, but I couldn't hear. Like the virus has a will, like it's learning. So, you didn't hear what he said, but you can tell it. Okay. Whoever made this one has just as much bad grammatical error as I do. I sealed the last hallway. The explosives are prepped. If anyone finds this log, do not try recovering anything from Theta 9. The pathogen breached deep tissue. It mutated is no longer just biological. That's it? Okay. It seems like most SCPs have some sort of pathogen of sorts. I know this is one of those, and then you got, what what was the other one? There was another one called the Red Ice, was it? I can't remember. Was it Red Ice? Something like that. Yeah, the Red Ice. Yeah, that's the next one too. Okay. I guess we'll just jump right into that one since I just thought of it. And it looks like it's from a field agent, Leon M. Date is unknown, and his clearance is a level 4. Okay. We were dispatched to Site 212, deep in the Alaskan interior, to investigate an anomaly. The call had come from a satellite relay. Just automatic alert, screaming containment failure. Oh, okay. When the Foundation gets a red flash about SCP-009, it doesn't send cleanup, it sends a burn team. Only problem? Nobody told us that until we were already in it. It looked normal from the air. Snow-covered woods, abandoned facility, and small mountain valley. Okay, that is not normal, no matter what you say. Small mountain valley. The perimeter sensors weren't responding. We landed at 0800 sharp. I know I said that wrong. So any military personnel out there, I do apologize. Four of us in total. The front gate to Site 212 had been ripped open, bent outward like something inside just burst out. We went in with guns drawn. Everything inside was silent. We walked past empty chairs, overturned clipboards, and coffee mugs still half full. The weird part? No frost, not a single ice crystal. None on the windows, none even in the freezer. Then we found the first one. The first body, laying in the hallway by the generator room. No wounds, no blood, but her skin, it looked glass-like. Not frost, but crystallized. When I touched her cheek with a gloved hand, it made a clink, and then her lip cracked. Okay, now that's creepy. I feel like I've seen this somewhere on the telly. Cracked like frozen glass. Her body temperature read at negative 53 degrees Celsius. The ambient air was 4 degrees Celsius. Oh my god. It's impossible. We found the red stain first, not blood. Something thicker, darker. It had spread from the corner of the cryogenic storage wing, across the floor like veins. The walls had frozen. Despite active heaters, frost curled along the ceiling like fingers. A control panel had a bloody glove frozen into it. Whoever was wearing it had tried to override the failsafe. In the middle of the room was a tank, a shattered tank, and inside coated with red ice. SCP-009 isn't just water, it's water from somewhere else. It freezes at room temperature. It's attached to regular water, and when it touches organic matter with enough water in it, it just doesn't freeze you, it replaces you, one molecule at a time. We found Davis near the exit. He wandered off to inspect the pumps. I saw him stumble back, clenching his arm. His jacket had torn, exposing his skin. I rushed over thinking he was hurt. Then I saw the red, the veins pulsing beneath the skin, turning bright crimson. He started screaming. I can feel it inside me. It's cold, but it burns. He clapped convulsing. His eyes went glassy. His tears turned red before they froze midair. I pulled my pistol. I didn't want him to suffer. It's just me now. The red ice moves like it thinks. It knows where the moisture is. It crawls across metal, creeping along pipes, seeking any drop of condensation. The only thing that slows it is heat. Fire. I've wheeled a door shut, cut power to non-essential areas, burned every drop of fuel I could find. But it's still coming. I saw it move last night, not just spread. It pulsed like a heartbeat. If you're reading this, just burn the site. Burn everything. Dang. Okay, that's how it ends on that one. That's honestly, that does sound like the zombie plague we just read. But at the same time, it is a little different. It's still pretty different. Very creepy though. Dang. Though some of this, I'm gonna have to talk to the people in the studio because it seemed like they did not Make sure this actually sounded correctly, or at least sounded good, in a sense of grammar, because either is my grammar bad, or I'm just reading this terribly wrong. Either way. Let's see. 00. Okay, yeah, we just did 009. And from the signals that the people in the studio are giving me, it is about time to end it here. Yeah. Wow. Anyways. And just like that, dolls and gents, we come to the end of tonight's little journey through whispers and wonders. Whether you're here for the first time, or just drop by for a tale or two, I tip my hat to you. Until next time, keep your lights low, your minds open, and your hearts curious. This has been your humble host signing off. Good night, and keep dreaming in Sunday.
Today, just discovered. You want to say goodbye?